remember seeing him work when I first saw him last time.
I'm back.
Yeah, it's just
We just here.
here.
Going back through the tape, what stood out to you about Joe's performance last night that maybe you didn't see in the moment?
There was very few issues there, in terms of throwing the ball. He was accurate, decisive, and all the things I said about the protection held up. The guys doing their job on the routes. So again, it was just really efficient performance, and keep building on it.
What does Cam Taylor need to do to kind of get himself back into the rotation?
Yeah, just be consistent. Consistency, week to week, day to day. It's the biggest thing.
The door open for him to
Yeah.
work his way back?
Of course, yeah. He's talented, high energy, wants to do right. Just keep working at it.
You obviously had to rotate guards in because of injury and whatever else.
Yeah.
Do you think you found the right group?
I think as of right now, we'll just keep working through it. But a lot of guys we know we can rely on. That's critical. Young guys that are ascending, veteran guys who we can depend on, and that's really good to have.
Zach, do you feel like it's positive for Trey Hendrickson, the long break here before the next game?
Yeah, he was pushing to play yesterday, so I can't speak on that today, but I'd have to feel at least reasonably optimistic, given that he was pushing to play yesterday.
Flacco was talking about how some of the plays, not the plays, but simple, throw the out to Jamar, flip the ball to T. Mm-hmm. How much do you see kind of the playmakers shine as Flacco kind of takes what's there?
Yeah, and that's really always what we've hung our hat on. It's just trying to find ways to get those guys the ball. I think of Jamar's 15 catches against Arizona was very similar. A lot of those were quick hitters, just trying to get the ball in his hands because you were getting some access there. And so yesterday was definitely a great example of that. I haven't tallied them up yet, but there was probably 5 to 7 throws in the run game that we took. And anytime you're getting that, that's not a protection call for the linemen. They're blocking a run, so they get to come off. And usually you're throwing it because it's the best look you can get. So you should be getting a completion, and oftentimes when you're completing it, you're getting Jamar one-on-one, which sooner or later that thing's going to break for a 60-yard gain instead of sometimes a 7 or an 8-yard gain. So it's just a really, really effective way to live, and we'll try to continue to build off of that. We've always had it. We'll continue to build off of it as we go.
And then maybe the biggest wrinkle of all time here was, I believe 3 straight dropbacks out of under center.
Yeah.
Was that something that Flacco liked?
Well, Pitch had that recommendation. Pitch had seen some stuff going back against Pittsburgh previously that he thought would fit well in the plan. And so initially we had an 8-play package and then whittled it down to 3. We added another one. We had 4 total that we carried. They were good. It's some of them we had to check out of, and sometimes that's going to happen. But it was effective for us. The way that they tried to combat some of that stuff, we thought it would be effective for us. And whether we continue to build on it or not remains to be seen, depending on our future opponents.
What did the tape show you of Barrett and Demetrius this game?
Yeah, there's positives and there's things to continue to learn from. And it's, I'm thinking, I don't know how many games Aaron Rodgers has played in, but as I'm watching the tape, it's, he's probably in the 230s to 250s in terms of amount of games he's played in his life. And I'm looking at 2 linebackers and Shamar playing in his real second and a half game almost. They're playing in games, 6-5, 3. And some of the things that Rodgers does to really stress you, he tries to get you in a look, and then he likes to check the play, and he's in no huddle, he's in tempo, and so it causes a lot of stress. And so there's a lot for these guys to learn from. They're going to continue to ascend and learn as they accumulate reps, and they get to game 7 and 8 and 9. Someday they'll get to 250, hopefully. That'd be amazing. But we're going to gain a lot from them getting this experience, and they're going to continue to get better every week. And I'm really pleased with the way that they approach everything, and they're just going to keep learning and keep getting better.
We talked a lot about marrying the run and the pass, and when the run game starts working last night, you see that. And the obvious one would be, you get a play action, throw it out to Noah. But what are some of the maybe the more nuanced ways that you saw the run game hitting last night impact what you were able to do in the passing game?
Well, we were trying to do best to get some variety there, run the ball on some second 10s against them, which They oftentimes have the upper hand there, so we were trying to take that back a little bit. And so they're not always sexy 10-yard runs, but sometimes they're 4 and 5 yard runs that keep you out of a 3rd and 10. And so that to me was as important as Chase's explosive down the middle to the right sideline, and the left one that he toe tapped the sidelines. Those to me were as effective. It was a 2nd and 10 run that got us to 3rd and 5, or a 2nd and 8 run that got us a first down. Those were the ones that, to me, as a play caller, really allowed us to effectively operate on offense.
What do you think in the last couple of weeks here has been something that has changed or been a difference in the running game? I mean, is there something that you see and you've noticed that looks different now?
Yeah, I mean, I hate saying this, but because you're looking at it in the first couple of weeks, and it's like we're just right there, and there's just this one element on this play, and then the next play it's this other thing, and so once that starts to click early in a game and you feel rhythm, the confidence rises, and again, as important when you're completing football, sometimes we're just completing balls to 2nd and 4. Now you can call another run and keep leaning on it. So you've heard me saying here a million times, just getting a first down allows us to play more freely. We got a lot of first downs last night. So you get a chance to let everything work more and keep, even if you get a 0-yard run or a 1-yard run, you can still come back to it because you got a good amount of plays in those drives, and the offense has a lot of confidence. So it just allowed us to continue to lean into it, and I hate to say it took off. We only ran it 15 times or so, but it was effective for us, and it kept us on schedule and allowed us to do all the other things we wanted to do from an attacking standpoint.
After getting Flacco ready to play 2 games in 10 days, now you get a chance to breathe. Kind of what's next in this process of it had just been a crash course, but now maybe you get to do a little more.
Yeah, and again, it's all coming to him. It's all making a lot of sense to him. What you find in this game, it's not even the complexity of the play call. It's just a word that sounds unfamiliar. When you're looking at the call sheet, it made sense, and then I'm saying it, and it's not registering what word I'm saying. So there was a couple of repeats in there yesterday that we were trying to make work, and it wasn't a complex play call. It's just the phrasing of how it is, and so I'm impressed of how he does handle all these long play calls we have. Because on 3rd down, we're got 2 play calls, and red zone was a lot too, and he did a great job taking it all in. So now with a full normal week here coming up with an extra day on Monday as well, I think it'll be really helpful, and it'll really slow down, and we can hone in on what he continues to do best and keep featuring that.
I know it had to be.
He was talking about that sometimes when they broke the huddle, they were kind of shaking their head because they're saying, I don't know if this is.
Yeah.
Was there any one of those plays where,
yeah.
as it unfolded and you said, my God, what's going on?
Yeah.
But it worked?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Does one stick out, Coach?
Well, the zone read, number 1. I was trying to call timeout because we definitely were not lined up correctly, and a integral part of the play was not about to occur. And next thing you know, we got a first down. So I'm just going to shut up and just keep staying over there on the sidelines. But that was one that stood out. There's a couple of quirky formations, and again, it's all the phrasing, and it's part of me is I'm so used to talking to 2 guys that have been here for so long, and so I can say it quickly because they've heard it a million times, and so he's hearing some of these pairings for the first time with us, and it's anybody in this room, you can teach it to them, and you need to hear it a couple times, especially in a moment like that, for it to, okay, this is what he's trying to say to me. And, but we worked through it and good, and it's two 40-year-olds just communicating as best we can with each other. And so, again, it made it work, made it exciting, and we'll just continue to grow from there.
He said last night you were patient with him through all of that. And, I mean, you only have so many timeouts you can burn.
Yeah.
How hard is it for you that when you see it lined up wrong to go, swallow hard and let's just see what happens?
It is, and you're trying to measure in the moment how critical is the timeout, and so again, one of those was the 4th and 1 I called the timeout on. I wasn't sure we were going to operate the way that we were going to need to operate, and so of course how it always works out, you bang a timeout with 1 second left and we get the first down, and then you're like, oh great. So that's just part of it. Part of working through it. I'm happy to do it. When he's playing the way he is, I'm happy to make any adjustments I need to. And he's saying he's patient with me. I'm being patient with him. I feel like he's being patient with me too. As I'm sometimes hurried in the play call trying to get it in, and he just needs me to relax a little bit. So it's a 2-way street there.
I know it
It
wasn't
helps that-
easy for Joe Burrow to be out there, considering he liked to be playing in the game.
Yeah.
But did that provide any
Yeah.
lift or boost for the team? Did it just-
I think it's anytime we see Joe walking around being Joe is a boost for the whole stadium. And he was great on the sidelines. You know, he was doing a great job with the receivers, doing a great job with the quarterbacks. I wasn't listening to everything he was saying, but it was almost like another coach over there talking through some things. So, again, he's that type of guy that's just going to try to help everybody, and glad to have him out there.
Do you think it helps that you and Flacco, you seem to have the same kind of personality? I mean, if you combine both your pulse rates, it might not hit. You know what I mean? Both you guys are pretty, not much bothers you.
Yeah.
Do you think that helps?
I don't think it hurts. I don't think it hurts. You know, it's both been around a lot of football, a lot of situations, know how to problem solve and work through it. And again, happy to do it when we're throwing the ball like he is and operating like he is. Then keep making the adjustments we got to make.
After having the night to sleep on it and then wake up, watch the film, you know, a game where you're down 10, then you're up 10, and you let it slip away and keep coming back and responding. What does it say, you think, about, you know, this team? You know, you've said how there was never a lack of belief in the locker room at any of this time. What do you think this says about this team, a game like that?
Yeah, it's just it is, the NFL season is a long season. We've when you've coached as long and played as long as some of our people have, you just know it's going to be ebbs and flows, and you can't. The sky's not falling when things go bad for a couple games. It's frustrating. It's disappointing. But there's always a way out if you just continue to stick together and fight through the adversity, and that's what we've tried to prepare this team for every step of the way for 7 years, really, is prepare for adversity. And at the moment of the season, when it gets hard, we stick together, we keep doing what we're doing, we don't panic, we don't change everything just because someone says we need to change everything or live in constant state of fear. That's not how we're going to operate. We're going to keep being aggressive, keep doing things the right way, and eventually it'll lead to a win, and then it'll lead to another win, and then you're right back into all the things that you want to do from a goal standpoint.
The 4th and 1 where you said you banked the timeout, was that when you basically threw the challenge flag?
Yeah, right. Just it's we weren't we didn't think we got the spot. There was a chance we did. So if you're going to bang the timeout, go ahead and take a shot at it and see if we can get that spot.
And with Joe, do you see that being the same going forward, Joe Burrow being on the sideline more? I mean, why this game and not previous games?
Well, the movement, just him moving around, staying off his foot, I think is the best thing possible. Again, from a medical standpoint, I can't answer that. This was maybe the appropriate time with the boot and all that stuff for him to get out there. I'm not going to speak to future games. I don't want to make that statement. I leave that more up to him. You know, from a comfort standpoint, from a medical standpoint, that'll be kind of a game-to-game thing.
The end of game situation last night, you talked about how you guys study that a lot.
Yeah.
Did your philosophy change when you studied it? Like, you know, whether we're looking back at the Baltimore game or the Denver game, did those show up changes that you guys made to your philosophy and the way you handled it last night?
I think every game is going to be unique in how the game's playing out and who the quarterback is on the other sidelines and what they're capable of. And so, again, you just, especially when you're down one, as opposed to the Baltimore game when we were tied, and if field goal was going to win it for you. And this one, we just wanted to get some more chunks there. And I think we did that against Denver a little bit last year too. At the end of that game, let's just be aggressive. And the pass game's been working for us. The run game will chew up more clock, in theory. So will completions in the pass game if we're sure we're going to get them. And so again, just with the weapons we had and the momentum we had, there were some good opportunities to keep the ball in the air, and our guys made it work for us.
How do you guys mechanically pass the word that, you know, hey, like Batiste said, if you get out in the open, how do you mechanically?
Starts with Sam Francis. You know, so Sam up in the but we were the 2-minute warning, and he told me we're in a slide at 5 situation. You know, it's for all the things you got to manage as a coach on the field. That's why someone like Sam's so important. He's the one looking at all the numbers. So hey, tell the guys it's a slide at 5 situation. Don't score. And so Noah, Joe Flacco was next to me on the sidelines in 2 minutes. Noah was right there, so I said, Noah, go and run over there in the huddle and tell everybody it's slide at 5. I just wanted Joe to focus on it. He might not even know what the term slide at 5 meant. He's only been here 11 days. So Noah went in there and communicated it to those guys, and obviously he did a good job of that.
Last year at the Giants, Chase ran in from 30 yards out when he could have slid down. You said that was 100% on you, that you don't want the guys doing math in the huddle.
Yeah, I didn't tell anybody in that one,
Right.
you know,
So
and
were you flashing back to that game?
no,
last
I
night?
wasn't. I hadn't thought about that until you just said that. So, no, I wasn't. No, I was not.
What was your favorite catch from Jamar last night?
The scariest one was the single receiver bubble that I think the corner thought he was going to pick off, you know, and he kind of topped it over his head almost and got some yardage there. That was the scariest one. My favorite Jamar catch, probably the bench route he ran at the end of the half. He had poor leverage against Ramsey, poor leverage, and just did a great job just sticking with the details of it and not panicking because you got poor leverage. And I think we probably got a 12, 13-yard gain on the left side, got us about midfield. So just knowing receivers and bench routes versus poor leverage, over years, guys panic and think they're not going to get it. They abort their details a little bit. He just stuck with it, trusted it, and Flacco brought him downhill and able to get a good first down there that kept us moving and got us into field goal range, and those 3 points ended up being critical. So, I mean, the whole sequence of events there, you talk about complimentary football, DJ Turner getting that pick, getting that ball at 37 seconds or something, offense completing 3 or 4 passes to get down there in field goal range, managing the clock, and then Evan knocking that field goal through. That was a critical stretch there at the end of the half that gave us momentum, and we got the ball to start the second half and score 3 more points, and that was a critical part of the game, all 3 phases working together.
On Jamar, when you look at the box score after the game and you look for a measuring stick of what made him effective that night, is it the number of catches? Is it the number of yards? Is it the number of targets?
I don't really look at the box score, to be totally honest with you. It's in game. It's a constant conversation. Are we getting him the ball enough? Is he drawing enough attention? Is he moving enough? So those are more just series to series, constant conversations, and that's our whole offense is formatted around that, making sure that no one can get a beat on him, and we try to make him honor every cut he can make, every position he can be in. But it is not possible if he wasn't the high IQ player that he is. He handles more than anybody could ever realize. There are clips last night. He's going to be talked about. 16 catches, franchise record. I'm going to show the team here in an hour his block on one of Chase Brown's runs down the field, in which he was running a route that he didn't get the ball, and then he transitioned into sprinting 40 yards down the field, similar to the Lions clip a couple years ago. I'm going to show the catch he had on the sideline where he licked on Highsmith. You know, he's in protection, helping Orlando there for a second and putting his hand, doing every little detail. And so what an unbelievable example for all of our young players in our team that are hungry, they got talent, they have high energy, but just buying into every little detail. Jamar's, I'm not even care about the 16 catches. I care more about what he does to lift the team with the little things that he buys into and does. And his energy is just constant, is to me as much as him getting 16 catches in a game.
One of the compliments, too, I think, to his game would be the gravity that he brings with defensive players. You saw it on
Yeah.
the shot to Andre Yoshibas
Right.
as well.
Right. Yeah, they're playing double. They're trying to take away our two primary guys, and Yoshi's able to step up, and that's quarterback having faith that Yoshi's going to be able to win that matchup and be where he's supposed to be on a rep that we have only walked through. You don't get a chance to hit that full speed on a Thursday game, and so again, it's just guys being on top of the details, and that's a credit to the coach. I mean, that's a great scheme by. That's Troy with his details in that receiver room. That's Brad with the details in the quarterback room. Pitch and Scotty do an unbelievable job formulating our pass game. And so just tremendous job by all the coaching staff there as well.
How many reps do you think, how many practice reps do you think Chase and Flacco have had?
Not many. Live?
Yeah.
However many we got last Thursday. And, some of the walkthrough reps on Friday. So I don't know. Live balls he's thrown to him, 5. Maybe.
It's kind of astounding, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. That's why you and I aren't Joe Flacco and Jamar Chase. It's just they do amazing things, and credit to them. It's they put in the work, and in the moment, like you said, their heart rate, they're just like this. And it's because they work. When you work, and you've got confidence in your work, and then you go out there and you get an opportunity, then you got a great opportunity to make the most of it, and that's what those two guys have done.
What has clicked in DJ Turner's game this year that maybe was not as
Well, I think there's a lot of corners that when you come into the league, you have high expectations, and it takes time. It just takes time and experience, and his mindset has been unbelievable. I had to tell him before the first game of the season that he wasn't starting, and the way he handled that conversation and the way he just told me, he said, "Bet, okay, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get it back." And I said, "Great." And he said, "Just promise me if I work at it that I'm going to have the opportunity." And he's had the opportunity. And all he's ever done is stand on his word, and he's gone out there and worked. And he's been a tremendous example of leadership and working in practice and doing all the detailed stuff. We just preach taking the ball away. And the way he took that ball away, I've seen the TV copy 5 different ways. It's unbelievable that he did it, got his feet in, got a knee in. The one he had, I know, is before their 3rd and goal touchdown, but the play before that, when he's coming around the tight end and knocks the ball free, but it's really not even a pass deflection. It's almost trying to force a fumble if the guy was catching the ball. So just the little details that Al and his staff have been preaching over and over and over, they're just starting to just show up. They show up. We're still young in the first year of this defense. We're 6 games in, got a lot of young players over there. But every game you start to see more and more things show up that being preached, and eventually when it all hits, that's going to be significant for all of us.
How rare is that you tell a guy he's not going to start with that, and it ends up being something that ascends their career? I mean,
Those are the guys you want on your team. Guys that you can take a hard conversation and not get in their feelings about it, and sulk and go have a bad practice and go in the locker room and get in the corners, the dark corners, and start getting in everybody's head about I'm getting messed over, or you can just go work and earn it back like a pro would. And that's DJ is turned into a pro. I've always loved DJ. He's always been a talented player that worked. Now you're just seeing it all the time, and really proud of him. Really, just from a mindset perspective, a work ethic perspective. He's just done a tremendous job, and we're just going to continue to build on it.
Are you the one that would tell Cam if you're going to be inactive today, or do you leave that to Chuck?
It can be off and on. I've had conversations with Cam. Chuck's had conversations as well. So I won't get into all the details of it, but it's always different from week to week. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Zach.